Pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item we have is a motion to recess the Commissioners' meeting to hold a retirement board meeting. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to call the retirement board meeting to order.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the June 18th, 2025 agenda. Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the May 21st, 2025 minutes. Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Under new business, motion to approve the refunds of contributions to employees no longer with the county. There are 11 individuals listed.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Number two, motion to approve the following retirements. There's one person listed.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the retirement board meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reconvene the Commissioners' meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second.
Aye.
Under public comment, questions concerning today's agenda? Seeing none, move on to a motion to approve the June 18th, 2025 agenda.
Abuse and neglect have been removed from their homes due to such abuse and neglect. And whereas Pennsylvania recognizes the risks and the need to protect the children in the Commonwealth. And whereas the challenging task of investigating child abuse, providing services to families, assessing safety, and providing services to ensure that Pennsylvania's children are provided with nurturance, family connections, support as they transition into adulthood, and services that allow a child to remain safely in their home or return home as expeditiously as possible, falls to the child welfare professionals of the Pennsylvania child welfare system. And whereas the work of child welfare professionals frequently requires them to enter into situations in which their personal safety may be put at risk. And whereas child welfare professionals work in difficult and emotional situations with children who have been victimized by physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, and other forms of maltreatment. And whereas child welfare professionals must develop great skill in working with families who are in crisis situations, struggling with mental health challenges, suffering from drug and alcohol afflictions, poverty, and other difficult issues. And whereas child welfare professionals must develop substantial knowledge and skills surrounding the rights of families, the law surrounding child welfare, how to develop culturally sensitive services, and the legal processes governing the system. And whereas child welfare professionals selflessly undertake the endeavor to protect the Commonwealth's children, often with low pay, long hours, tremendous demands, little appreciation, great criticism, and with dramatic impacts to their personal life. And whereas every year, child welfare professionals are injured or killed in their pursuit to protect children across the United States. And whereas workforce challenges have created tremendous challenges in the field of child welfare. And whereas, innumerable injuries and deaths of children have been averted due to the efforts of child welfare professionals. Therefore, we, the Board of Commissioners of the County of Pike, in special recognition of the efforts of the child welfare professionals serving the children of Pennsylvania, do hereby proclaim June 2nd through 6th, 2025 as Child Welfare Professional Appreciation Week in Pike County, and we absolutely do.
Thank you, Krista. So I believe we have Michelle and Kelly. Are you going to speak to this? Yes, Michelle. And I would just say on behalf of the board, every year we go do these recognitions because we appreciate and understand the difficult job you all have upstairs in working with children. This is not a job that comes easily every day. You face challenges, and you need to know that we down here in the Commissioner's office respect that completely and do our utmost to make sure that your job is compensated correctly. We make sure that we give you as much support as we can, and we appreciate all you do upstairs. So Michelle?
Thank you. Thank you, staff, for all showing up. I'm so proud of you guys. Today we acknowledge the dedication and hard work of the caseworkers. This is an extremely difficult job, one in which it appears as if the role is often unappreciated by multiple people and especially by the same families that we serve sometimes. Yet, we still go out, we still do our jobs. Why do we do it? It's not for the money. It's certainly not for the lack of appreciation that is sometimes felt. It is because we care, because we want what is best for children, because we believe that children function at their best when they are in a loving, supportive home. We get a sense of pride when the lives that we touch not only grows in leaps and bounds, but when those same lives say thank you. We really couldn't have done this without you. This is why we do what we do. That is why it is also important to partner with community providers like our local churches, the district attorney's office, drug and alcohol, VIP, and CASA. We appreciate any and all support while completing this very difficult but rewarding job. To my county CYS caseworkers, I say thank you. Thank you 1,000 times for doing what you do. Thank you for your patience in working through all the demands and unpredictable days and cases that we come across. Your hard work and even your frustrations don't go unnoticed. The county appreciates you and will continue to offer as much support as needed to ensure that every child in Pike County continues to thrive in a safe and loving home. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, do we have anything else? Okay.
I'm leaving, sorry, guys.
Oh, we're gonna take a picture, I think.
Oh, really? No.
Somehow we're gonna try and take a picture. I don't know.
I don't know.
Now you can do it. There's a lot of them in here. I think you're better off to take the picture this direction.
Everybody else move that way. You guys move this way.
Yeah, right.
So we're all
Everybody
doing
stands up. No, you come this way.
I think so. I think if Shannon can come up here.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. You know, anybody who's not that way goes this way. We'll go this way.
Why are you guys leaving?
Where do you think you're going? They're gonna take, you guys are gonna stay on this side with the commissioners and take a picture.
And you're gonna be out of
I'm gonna be over there.
She can
You're
take
gonna be out of the
I can take the picture.
No, you're gonna be in the picture, Michelle.
I'm so confused.
We're standing down.
No. Get out of the
Anybody that can't be seen and want to come up front, you're
People from the back come up to the front, she's saying. Come up to the front, I'm told. They want you guys from the back to come up to the front, so you can be seen.
It's okay, it's okay. We're there for you.
Oh my gosh.
And you're not there for us.
Whatever you wanna do, we'll be there.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yep, we're good. Okay, great.
Didn't they have to be here by 11?
15 minutes late.
They were supposed to be here by 11, but they don't do credit. I'm gonna get back.
Can I have my
What's that?
Why not be related?
Oh, okay. All right.
I was gonna say,
Get out of here early enough, today at 12 o'clock.
Where do you think it would say something?
All right,
Inside the envelope.
What's that?
Like sometimes there's an envelope.
Okay.
Inside the.
you're next.
We'll do that.
Okay, so we'll just move further down into new business. We have a motion to adopt resolution number 2521, World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, June 15, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Ronald?
Resolution number 25-21, World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, June 15, 2025. Whereas older adults deserve to be treated with respect and dignity to enable them to serve as leaders, mentors, volunteers, and vital participating members of our communities. And whereas in 2006, the International Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse in support of the United Nations International Plan of Action proclaimed a day to recognize the significance of elder abuse as a public health and human rights issue. And whereas 2025 marks the 19th annual World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, its recognition will promote a better understanding of abuse and neglect of older adults. And whereas the National Center of Elder Abuse and the Pike County Area Agency on Aging recognize the importance of taking action to raise awareness, prevent, and address elder abuse. And whereas, as our population lives longer, we are presented with an opportunity to think about our collective needs and future as a nation. And whereas ageism and social isolation are major causes of elder abuse in the United States. And whereas recognizing that it is up to all of us to ensure that proper social structures exist so people can retain community and societal connections, reducing the likelihood of abuse. Whereas preventing abuse of older adults through maintaining and improving social supports like senior centers, human services, and transportation will allow everyone to continue to live as independently as possible and contribute to the life and vibrancy of our community. Whereas, where this is justice, there can be no abuse. Therefore, NCEA urges all people to restore justice by honoring older adults and join in our encouraging, engaging, and empowering movement for putting an end to abuse. Therefore, the Pike County Commissioners do hereby proclaim June 15, 2025 as World Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Pike County, Pennsylvania, and encourage all of our communities to recognize and celebrate older adults and their ongoing contributions of the success and vitality of our country.
Thank you, Ron. Tracy, would you like to speak to this?
Sure.
Thank you. Tracy Simon from the Aging Office.
So in lieu of World Elder abuse, exploitation, and other forms of caretaker neglect. So there's an uptick. We ask that people report. Our workers are busy every day protecting our seniors to do what we can for them. So we hope some people will join us from the community on July 25th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
We appreciate what you do. I know it's a hard job, just the last group that was in here. I think it's important to recognize in our community that we have a lot of senior citizens that reside here. And a lot of them live alone, a lot of them don't have family. And I think it's up to us as neighbors to make sure that we check on our neighbors, particularly the senior citizens, to make sure that they're safe, because unsuspectingly they could be taken advantage of. And without us checking in on them to make sure that that's not occurring, no one else will. So I know you do your job, but I think it takes a community to also help you do your job. So if we just maybe put that out there, that's very important. We live in a very rural community.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.
Okay, and before we get to the regularly scheduled program, we're going to jump to Mr. Oliger and Mr. McIntyre for their EMS fundraiser, and they can present that to us and talk a little bit about the success.
So on May 19th, we had our second annual charity golf tournament, Oliver McIntyre, and as we did last year, that tournament was to benefit the Pike Emergency Services Initiative, which is a joint effort by our law firm, the commissioners, and the management of the Greater Pike Community Foundation to operate a fund for the benefit of Pike County emergency training, ambulance training specifically. Since that fund has been created, it's my understanding from the commissioners that all of the training for EMS workers in Pike County has been funded through that program, and that's local fire departments and volunteers themselves have not had to shoulder the burden of their own EMS training. So that's been overwhelmingly successful. This year, we were able to, through some additional generous sponsors, our two main sponsors this year were Malibu Wellness Ranch and CMG, which is the third-party ambulance contractor for Shahola Township and Dingman Township. We were able to actually improve on our donation. Last year we were able to donate $15,000 after the tournament, and this year we're able to donate $17,000. So that was the result of the tournament, and we're looking forward to next year again. And we want to continue to help this fund grow and be successful.
Thank you, Jason.
Well done.
Nick? Big check.
Big check.
Comically large check.
Big check. It was a comically large check. We will have a regularly sized check at a later date.
So the fund continues to grow, and we're going up here just so the president knows. Just recently, I believe the fund sits at about 125,000 without this.
With or without, what you said, without?
Without this.
Without this,
Yeah,
so there you
yeah.
go.
So we continue to raise funds for this.
Okay. Very nice.
It's much easier to fit.
Maybe right side up, right? It's right side up? Okay,
Yes.
good, all right, just make sure it's right side up.
Okay. Thanks.
And I think it's important to recognize that anyone in the community that wants to give towards this, please just contact the Greater Pike Community Foundation. Jason, you started this a couple of years ago with your leadership, and you continue to do it. We appreciate all that you do, and the residents in this county are completely, have to be totally embraced with what you are doing.
And I'm still campaigning for the bingo fundraiser.
Thank you very much.
That's over.
Okay, let's move back up to the top. We'll go to a motion to approve the June 4th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the June 11th, 2025 conference minutes.
Motion.
I abstain.
I will make the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the payment in the general fund for county bills in the amount of $497,834.47.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Motion to approve payment from the bridge fund in the amount of $3,654.12.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Motion to approve payment from the Pike County Employees Health Insurance Fund in the amount of $84,644.77.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, any questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve exonerations is presented by Gina Rios, Tax Claim Bureau Director, for 8 properties sold at judicial sale on May 6, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
The personnel, motion to hire Robert Santiago as Youth Programs Assistant for the Summer Youth Employment and Training Program for the Career Center for a 15-hour work week for 8 weeks, effective June 23rd, 2025. This is a replacement position. Pike County will be fully reimbursed with funds from the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Courtney Kelly as a part-time temporary clerical clerk for the Strengthened Connections Project for CASA for less than 1,000 hours per year, retroactive to June 11, 2025. This position is grant funded.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, any questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to hire Melissa Olivio Heller as an unpaid intern for CASA for a 16-hour work week, effective August 25th, 2025, in accordance with the terms of the student affiliation agreement with Temple University students at non-TU entities.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to recess the commissioners meeting to hold a salary board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to convene the salary board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the June 4th and 11th, 2020 salary board minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of Robert Santiago at $17.50 per hour as Youth Programs Assistant for the Summer Youth Employment and Training Program for the Career Center for a 15-hour work week for 8 weeks, effective June 23rd, 2025. This is a replacement position. Pike County will be fully reimbursed with funds from the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of Courtney Kelly at $14 per hour as part-time temporary clerical clerk for the Strengthened Connections Project for CASA for less than 1,000 hours per year, retroactive to June 11th, 2025. This position is grant funded.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the salary board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reconvene the commissioners meeting.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to open proposals received coordinating and providing effective service delivery to eligible older adults and disabled persons in Pike County on behalf of the Area Agency on Aging.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
You definitely have one from Destiny Empowerment. personal care, $20.25 per hour. And then we're not sure if this is a bid or something else. Find out. No.
Okay, thanks.
No.
Wasn't from Ed McMahon, was it?
Little late.
That's dating us.
Typically.
Okay, so make a motion that we table the approval until the July 2nd Commissioners meeting. Motion to be approved. Motion is second, all in favor? Okay, under new business. Motion to approve the following human service payment vouchers on behalf of the Office of Human Services Homeless Assistance Program in the amount of $1,000, FARE in the amount of $6,795.41, and State Food Purchase Program in the amount of $627.22.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Motion to execute the contract for professional services between Northern Tier Research and the County of Pike on behalf of the Children Youth Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Five, motion to authorize the chairman to execute the funding agreement between Pennsylvania Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial and the County of Pike for a mission-related investment.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Motion to execute the contract between Stephen Benedict and the County of Pike for services as conflicts counsel for the Public Defender's Office for a one-year term effective July 1st, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, under miscellaneous, the Penn State Extension, but this weekend is Milford Music, and during that time, Penn State Cooperative Extension will be having a tent and disseminating information on the front lawn of the Milford Community House. Just explaining everything that they do in the community. As we've said many times, Penn State does a lot of good things and a lot of good things for the communities and the residents, and much of it comes at no cost. So we just thought it was important that while there's that many people in town, that they spend a little effort down there and just, showcase what they do, whether it's water testing or, all sorts of things. 4-H is an extremely well-attended program that's run by Angie Smith. So that's going on. And then one other thing I just want to announce, and this is coming up on June 29th, is going to be what used to be called the Betstock event up at the Key Foods, which is now called Rev It Up, which is an event which is going to raise funds for the Veterans Service Fund that we've created in Greater Pike to benefit our service office, which is extremely successful up there. Josiah is doing an incredible job, so remember to mark your calendar and come out. After that, I have nothing else. Do we have anything from the press and public comment? No.
I just have a short comment. It's not directed to, It's not directed to all county government. I want to preface that succinctly. It's a comment in light of what's been happening in our country over the last several weeks, or even months. And it's in light of our next meeting will be right around July 4th, right? I think the 2nd. And it's a very short comment. Once the government is committed to the principle of silencing the voice of opposition, it is only one way to go, and that is down the path of increasingly repressive measures until it becomes a source of terror to all citizens and creates a country where everyone lives in fear. They forget that the Bill of Rights to be broken down, all groups, even the most conservative groups, would be in danger from the arbitrary power of government. We, as a community or communities, must not be swept away by a wave of hysteria. We must maintain the United States as a strong, free people, confident in our liberties, and moving forward with other free peoples to oppose aggression and to build a just peace for all mankind, all womankind, and our youth. we're blessed here in Pike County to have the government and the community that cross-communicate, oppose at times, willing to oppose at times, willing to openly fight at times, yet respect each other's opinions and views. In preparation of July 4th, I hope these words resonate to some, if not to all. God bless America.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you, everyone.